I'm joined now by aviation specialist John Strickland, from JLS Consulting. John, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming in again. Just having a look at what's happening here, it does seem that both sides are in a battle, yet we know that the customer base is hemorrhaging.
This is a key point. Both sides claimed elements of victory last weekend. British Airways, as we've heard, is talking about a very bullish operating programme, which would perhaps have been unimaginable in previous strikes in British Airways years ago. But the reality is they're not flying a full programme, the workforce is not on board. Customers, if they're not messed up this weekend, they're certainly thinking about will they want to fly British Airways in the future. So we still need to be aiming towards a negotiation that results in a settlement, and they can both get back to doing the job of running the airline.
Do you think that Willie Walsh, though, is actually thinking, right, this is my moment, we're going to crush Unite now, we're not going to have this happen to us again?
Well, I think it's his moment from the point of view that he has to make progress. He has to bring the airline into the 21st century way of working and in the 21st century environment in which it has to operate with very intense competition, lower cost of delivery, not just by low-cost carriers in Europe, but also by the premium carriers in the Middle East and Asia. I don't think he's got an objective to smash the union. He does need the union to come into a modern age of industrial negotiations, which is not backed by threats or actual strikes.
He's got the board's backing, right?
It certainly seems that way, and I could not imagine British Airways would have gone into this without having had maybe weeks, if not months of discussion about this and really got the rock-solid agreement amongst the board members.
But yet Unite does not seem to want to back down. I mean, both sides are pointing to victory here. No one's winning, really, are they? I
think one of the difficulties seems to be the understanding or the belief by the union that what the management is saying is legitimate or true. There's a kind of fear factor, it seems, that if they accede to these recent negotiations and demands, then the company will try to get one over on them. My own reading as an airline industry man is that is not the case. British Airways does have to make changes. We've got to remember British Airways has got many unions in the company. It's brought all the others alongside with it. They have come on board.
It's interesting, if we look at Lufthansa, Air Portugal, there does seem to be an epidemic almost of strikes across the board. It could be very difficult for the tourist season this summer, couldn't it?
Yes, and it also embraces air traffic control in Europe. What we're really having is a fear factor coming from an industry which has always existed on very low or non-existent margins, that is in a process of needing to change structurally, whether it's an air traffic control organisation or within airlines. It's understandable that fear factor exists, but it's really upon managements to bring the workforce with them, but at the same time to make those changes if they are indeed to survive.
John, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.